contact essay. Okay. Seems we are ready. I don't know, for those who are seated simply, you can face one another, but where you are in that group of threes, can you share what you have just written? And see if you agree. You can talk with yourself if you have the feedback. It's going to be really the best way to go about this. So, then, did we have a group that you disagreed? Disagreed about what you wrote? You all agreed in your groups?
We reached a consensus.
Okay, so let's start from there. What was your own consensus?
Okay. The conclusion we reached was that learning is the process of acquiring new knowledge or skills.
Okay. Learning is the process of acquiring new knowledge or skills. Was that what you had here too?
The consensus here is that learning is a process of acquiring new knowledge and skills, making use of that information transferred and then you at the end of the day achieve something like a goal.
Okay, so you have some addition, acquiring knowledge, skills to be transferred to meet some particular goals. Was that similar, but with some words missing? Okay. Information. Okay, no, some people are still reaching their. Okay, you reached. Okay. Was it the same thing you said, or you were busy talking about yours? Basically the same. Basically the same, different. Somehow. Was there any other thing to add to what has been said? We've talked about acquiring skills and knowledge, and for a particular transferring it to meet a particular goal. Is there? Nothing. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
So, my consensus with learning exposure to stimuli or experiences that leads to modification of behavior.
Okay. Thank you. Modification of behavior. That's the transfer you were talking about. That's the goal that some people were talking about. So the key thing that we want to do before we go into e-learning, because e-learning will be very exciting, but we have to get that component, that particular learning right. And I'm sure what I have here, basically what you have said. Some people have said it's knowledge acquired by systematic study in the field of scholarly application. And the third one says the modification of behavior through practice, training, or experience. And when we talk about behavior, we're talking about the actions that come out, not necessarily behavior in terms of the way I act, but now in the academic setting, what comes out of what I have experienced. Now, these are some definitions, but I had this as a working definition. And with this, we're going to walk now while we look at some things. We want to see what people have had e-learning, and we want to see, based on this definition, and I'll tell you why, if this is e-learning or not. So if it is, okay, If it is not, okay, what do we do? So we're going to be looking, that's the way we're going to go about it. A relatively lasting change in behavior. Because it has to be, it used to be a permanent change, but at times, along the way, you forget some things you relearn. Okay? So, a relatively lasting change in behavior as a result of a systematic organization of experiences. And experiences in terms of whether it's cognitive or skill-wise to achieve predetermined goals. So we'll be working with this, and in each group I will want you to put it down too. Okay? Because we'll be moving in between slides. So from theorists, psychologists who have worked on learning, we have been able to put this together. This is my own thinking about it, and I think it captures everything that learning is. The relatively lasting change in behavior, and it is as a result of something. It just didn't happen, and that something is systematically organized in such a way as to achieve something that is predetermined. It's not something that just, you just entered into it and you just learned something because you were involved in an experience which was not really directed toward that goal. You can learn in various ways. So let's look at this as the working definition. And now we want to say, so what is e-learning? Thank you. What did you like about that video?
It's as well.
Okay. So what did you like?
I'm sorry.
What did you like about the video?
Wow, it was fine.
Okay.
I love the music.
The music, yes, I do too. And that's why I wanted you to the sound to come out.
Well, send me back. Well, enjoy the memories of Tom and Jerry again.
Wonderful. Okay.
Yeah, well, it's quite interesting. Well, the 4Cs particularly, but kept me thinking that if we have to embrace this technology, it comes at a cost. And the video did not address the challenges. Yes.
Okay. So we are modifying it to 5 C's. Okay?
I just was marveling at the creativity, the animation. I was just thinking of the numerous things we could do while teaching. If we can mention, we can play around, move things around, and then we don't even need to talk.
I'm sure some people would agree with that we don't even need to talk.
I realize that you can work on any platform. I'm talking about the operating system. That we don't need to install a operating system.
Thank you very much. Now to the content. It's good that you enjoyed it. Now, did I ask? Okay. Now to the content. What's the key message that you got from that video? Just one. Dynamism. Okay. Volunteer, or I should volunteer?
The e-learning is not about technology per se.
Okay. It's not about the technology. What else? It's okay if it's not about the technology. What is it about? It's about what?
It's about communications.
Yeah, it's about communication, but there's a particular big word.
Again, that the traditional ways of teaching has not always worked. That means there's a shift.
Okay. It's about the user, and it's about the pedagogy. It's about the pedagogy. No matter how wonderful your technology is, like what they have used there in that video, if it is not properly packaged to reflect what we have said about learning, then we won't get the expected result. So we will have fantastic things, and we're going to look at some of those fantastic things and determine, is this e-learning, and how can we make the e-learning? Not in any particular order, but just as I just placed them there. Now, how many people have seen Edmodo, used Edmodo? That's a platform. You can go there, www.edmodo.com, and this actually are my own courses. I went to my own page directly. This is a course I'm currently taking. We're just about concluding. And here, what we have is a learning platform. And you can put in your notes there. You can communicate with your learners, send information, like maybe what you're reading down there. One of my team members that we teach wasn't in class yesterday, so some of the class members decided to send a greeting to him. That's what you're reading there. And so it's a social platform, but it is academic. Same as we have in Facebook, like a social platform also. But in this one, we create classrooms or courses. Like if you look at the site the other time, I had 3 of my courses. If we open it generally, you can see courses from other people. But these are my own courses there. And on this, we upload different kinds of resources. Because when we're talking about learning, we want to look at various things that can help the learners. And the beautiful thing about this, that I find beautiful, is the grading of the assignments. We may not be able to go into detail, the technical people may go into details later on, but in this particular platform, you can grade online. So anywhere you are, like one of the courses I had about 420 something students, a very large class, and we have been constrained always in giving them assignments. You know, you're supposed to give this, that the course is a practical course. So you want to give them things to do, but then who marks it? But on this platform, we have been able to at least move nearer that. Last semester, at least we were able to give about 4 assignments. Although, you know, wherever you are, because this is also on app, you can download it on your mobile devices, and great. So I found myself grading anywhere. I didn't have to be located in my office or at a table with all the scripts. Then we also found another way of grading. If they upload their assignments on Word, they could do the assignments directly here, but they could do it on Word and attach it, and then we give them the marking scheme. They annotate, they put the marks on it, which we can cross-check to see if they have graded correctly. So at the end of the day, we printed out all the students' names and their assignments, the 4 assignments that they've done. You can monitor the progress of each student. You can open the student's page. So it's a very beautiful platform. And how did we arrive at that? This particular course, we taught it sometime with Facebook. And that was because by the time these postgraduate students came in, they are postgraduate diploma students in education, we had problems with room allocation. We had to be moving from location to location, and then we had LMS. We had the course on UI LMS. But to get them registered on LMS, they must be registered with their matric numbers. We tried every other thing for UI to help us, you know, just create a fake thing for them. Many of them, by the second, third week of the semester, they hadn't completed their registration. And we couldn't continue, you know, if we're going to use the LMS, we will have to wait till everybody, you know, gets access to this. So we decided, okay, let's try the Facebook platform, transfer our activities, because most of these are activities. The only thing we were not able to do is the synchronous charts. So we tried that. And at the end, when we did a reflection, the students came up with all sorts of challenges that they had with the Facebook. And one of them is the issue of it being open to everybody. In fact, the student said, I didn't want anybody to know I was running a course. But alas, we met on Facebook and we found out that I was running a course. So at that point in time, we started looking at something that would be more private, okay? And we discovered a model. So you create your class. Nobody has to know if you're on a course or if you are not on a course. But there are other interesting things that a model could do. That's one of them. I would take like 3 together, then I will ask you, do you consider this e-learning? So keep that in mind as we describe. So if you have questions as I describe, please bring them up if you need clarifications. Because, yeah.
How and were you assessing the scoring of how the score?
I can't imagine a student giving himself a low mark.
No. You see, they annotate for every point. Like if this is the first thing, if it's going to be 2 marks, they annotate it and then total everything. So you can pull up the scripts and check.
And that's their own scripts.
Yes. And check actually if they have done the right thing or if they have scored properly. And, okay.
Please, sorry, is it other students, a different students are annotating another student's work, or the same person?
The same person can annotate, yes.
So in other words, the way you said the question will make
Yes.
You're using the word
What?
You're using the word, the activation.
Oh, learning management system, like Moodle. Moodle Blackboard. Okay. The thing, you know, they can have, if initially we had this visual, would they be changing what they have written? But this is done in such a way that any new submission, you can do as many submissions as you want to before the deadline. The deadline is always even there. Like this one, that's due October 30th. October 30th is switches of nobody can access that. So what they can have.
So does it mean that I can go back, read again and come and
yes, before the deadline.
So
before the deadline. So it's after the deadline that you begin the marking.
So what's the term about it? Because I mean I can tell what is how can I assess me properly because I can go back. Yeah, read very well.
That's the idea.
When you learn.
This question is a valid question in that students, especially, that's one of the drawbacks in technology. Students can easily copy and paste, and that's why we are going to emphasize, and that video emphasized pedagogy. What kind of activities have you created for the students? What kind of learning experiences have you created for them? Is it such that they just say when, what, how, where, or one of the keywords that we'll be looking at the end of this presentation is authentic, reality. What do you do? So you can even look at all their submissions. If they have 3 submissions, you will find it there. It's not that they remove one and put another. So the dates they give, the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, before the deadline. So you can see, check and see was there anything particular that they were adding to this thing to have these different submissions.
Again,
yes.
If I'm making my submission and another is making these are own submission,
they don't see. They can't see. Everybody has their own page. That's why it's private, unlike Facebook, that everybody sees what you, or the people that are your friends, they see what you are posted in. So it's the facilitator or the teacher. Or like I always have some team members, we register as the teachers. So we are the only ones that can see all the assignments.
Then how about group work? I mean, we're all there being the same time and whatever it does, how will you manage that? That's
one of the limitations in terms of group work. But in terms of communication, interaction, like all these notes, if you post an activity there, everybody can respond. That's apart from assignments. Everybody can respond, but it's not synchronous. They respond at their own time. So we don't have chats like in Moodle that you have live sessions that the discussions will be going on at the same time. So every of these things have their own limitations also. And the good thing is that it keeps being improved. And most of them, they have communities of practice now. That's the in thing. So you can bring in your suggestions. In fact, for Edmodo, there's always an online conference every year. So you bring in what you have done with Edmodo, what other people have been doing, and so on. So one can be part of the communities of practice. Okay, we spent quite some time on Edmodo.
Questions?
Okay, yeah.
I'm just trying to understand this, the first one, not the modules now. The first one you were talking about submission So what I'm getting is that it's like.
And we give the technical thing a bit, so that when it comes to the technical section, you can be introduced to it.
I just wanted to.
Okay.
What I was thinking, I wanted to ask: is it like this Facebook group, so that like I create in Mondo, I create a group and then I ask them to go and register.
Exactly.
Like to do in Facebook.
Yes.
So I create it like I am the person who created it, so I can see everybody and then register. They have to register as
students.
So that they have limited.
They register as students. There's always a code attached to your course. So they type in that code. They register. They can log in even with their Gmail accounts and even their Facebook accounts. Okay. Thank you. So, of course, Facebook, we don't have to. We are very used to that. And in the first time we used it, this was the page, and we had quite interesting interactions. But what we found out was that, it was very difficult to monitor a very large class, the response. We actually put them in groups. What we did was, they come in after every 2 weeks that they are online, they now come into the class. We have discussions to cover for that period, and then they go off for 2 weeks again with activities that they will perform on what they are supposed to be learning. And when they do that, the particular group for that week will post in their assignment. But what we found out, because we wanted to generate discussions, but we found out that most of them were saying this is correct, well done, this is good, like they didn't want to critique their mates and things. So that's one of the, on a platform, as on private, as public, as Facebook. You don't want to say something, even people within the class, it's not really they that will see the comments. Other people, your friends will see. So they were being cautious about what they put there. So that's that in the Facebook. Okay. Now, the Khan Academy. How many people have come across that too? Okay. They have specialized videos in different areas. I'll bring one up now. And in this particular one, you don't see who is talking. Like, this is a human anatomy and physiology. And if you look at to your left now, okay, you will see the various topics there. Circulatory system introduction, then meet the heart, flow through the heart flashcards, to circulations in the body, the different topics. And they just come like videos, and they have a whole library of different.
What you're looking at is one of the most amazing organs in your body. This is the human heart, and it's showing all the vessels on it. And
so you don't see the person talking, but you hear a voice, and you see the person writing, showing something, pointing to a place or the other. So you have a whole lot of videos like that on Khan Academy.
So this organ, I think it would be really cool to look at in a little bit more detail, but it's hard to do that.
Okay, let's take one more. Let me see. Okay, it's good we take this with it. We have, of course, on YouTube also we have so many videos. Actually, I took this out of one of the courses that I will be showing you, a course in public health on the UI elements. And this video was part of the activities that the students would, watch and perform some things on, and it was talking about iodine deficiency. And it's a story, and it will remind you again of Tom and Jerry, who was coming at them. Okay, so we won't need to go into that. So now we have looked at Edmodo, Facebook, Khan Academy, and YouTube. Can we discuss in our group what reflects e-learning to you? Maybe out of all those four, we have not been able to see, but we have an idea of how it works out. Okay? Now, cast your mind back at what learning is. The video we watched on what is e-learning. So the question I'm asking now, is this actually e-learning? Is it actually e-learning? Can you discuss and tell me if it is, why you think it is, if it is not, why you think it is not? Why do you think it's?
Some materials are e-learning, some
Well, give us the summary. She's representing. Okay, and it's your group that wants to talk. Okay. You have been volunteered.
Are we still discussing? Round up. Okay, there's intergroup collaboration already. Okay, yes, she's talking.
But we've reached the conclusion that the Edmond and the think reports is the e-learning. We have the e-learning.
Yes, Modo and the
Facebook.
Okay.
While the Khan and the YouTube is not e-learning. It's not e-learning because it has the component, but there's no interaction, there's no feedback. So it doesn't end up in learning. You don't learn anything. It just has a component. So there's no interaction in those ones. So it doesn't
reflect learning.
Okay? Do you agree with that? No. Which I go first? He's vigorously shaking his head.
Well, it's like last YouTube and Khan Academy is not a form of e-learning. But to my own understanding, well, e-learning is a form of learning where you remove, so to say, the facilitator or the teacher away from the physical environment, and at the same time, lecturer or the facilitator still monitors what is happening around as a.
Was that reflected in Khan Academy?
In Khan Academy, yes, because part of e-learning is ability to demonstrate, show things, because it's a form of tell, show, do. If I'm just explaining to you now, oh, this is the way you want to look at your edge, this is the way I'm just talking, you won't appreciate it. But Khan is able to show what I'm saying to you. But I'm just telling about circulation, like what he's saying now, talking about circulation. Some people have not seen a heart before. And I'm just telling you how blood flows through the heart. You'll be wondering, you just be imagining what is happening. But the Khan Academy is able to demonstrate possible things that, so it's a form of visual or things that you can really understand. And to me, it's a form of e-learning.
Okay.
Yes.
And does it automatically lead to learning?
Yes. 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 Because what you see, your brain can actually, conceptualize the whole thing perfectly. And what I'm just saying, if I'm just talking, you just be imagining what am I saying.
You can see it really.
But now you can see. It could be a graphic pictures, it could be illustrations. Yes, it helps learning and ability to assimilate faster.
Some people have said
no.
And that is also
Okay, thank you. I think the Edmondo is a platform, and the Khan as well as the Khan Academy is a resource in which you can put the resources or the resource on the platform of Edmondo. The Edmondo will give you the platform for interaction, and also the resources are there. So it gives you both the platform and the resources. Unlike if you take the Khan Academy alone, it gives you the resources. Just you may not be able to resolve your questions or queries. Unlike the Edmondo, that you can have the resources, and if you have queries, questions, discussions, it can also be resolved on that platform.
That's what you are differentiating.
Yes. One, to me, is my view now. One is a more robust, yes. The other is limited. And it is private, unlike Facebook and YouTube that you cannot restrict who knows or sees what you do.
Thank you. So we got the point there, but then I want to ask, is it because of the interaction that you have on Edmodo that makes you think learning will occur?
Yeah, because I wanted to add to that.
Add to the question.
Yes, because Khan Academy, the teacher who made the end of the day ask questions, and who can now talk around the questions and all that. If you can answer the questions, and I will now respond after I give it, you've gone through the service, and I will ask you questions.
You are blending.
No, even after giving me
you are blending. You are blending. You will be blending then.
Well,
you are combining.
It's not part of the because I mean the class became I can now answer questions. I'll be able to answer your question based on your understanding of my teaching. That's the truth.
Why we're having this discussion is that so when you begin to discuss about your strategic plan for e-learning, you know what is e-learning and what is not e-learning. You don't waste so much time. Mrs. Ada wants to say something. Okay.
Sorry, I should say something.
Yeah, beforehand. Sorry, I saw you.
The interactions we're talking about here, that we're confusing we're confusing interaction with the teacher as moderator with interaction with the learning material. So Khan Academy, from the limited video we saw, you will interact with the learning material, not necessarily with the moderator or teacher. So I think in that instance, we cannot separate Khan Academy from being a platform from the learning.
Okay, thank you.
Let's make this the last.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, ma'am. I think the issue I wanted to hammer on is the fact that whether it is E or no E, we must be able to measure that learning has actually taken place. So the fact that it is E does not remove the learning is actually the main thing. So when we are differentiating whether learning has taken place, we should forget about the E first and see whether that resource or that platform is able to pass on knowledge, and we are able to measure that it actually passed on knowledge.
I think we should end there. Okay, look at the working definition for learning that you wrote down. Yeah? Okay. But what about the first part?
You need to change.
So, work around that. But just as this is allowed said, the goal, the assessment, there are many components. I won't answer the question. Let's go. Okay, this is another, we are looking at some other resources. Now, maybe I'll take everything together and for time. We have reading materials also online. Of course, we've used that a lot. PDFs, Word documents, and so on. And I just opened this. This is Toxicology Tutor 1. And you have the different aspects. You read something there, and then go on, continue to read, and so on and so forth. So we could have all those, of course, with PowerPoint also. We could add PowerPoint speed, we could have Word documents, we could have, we have a lot of resources also on SlideShare. If some of us might have come across that too. SlideShare, there's a lot of PowerPoint resources, and many of them can actually be modified to suit our own learning. Now, we also have virtual laboratories. And there are some that you can actually download for it to be offline. You don't have to be online. So this is an example in virtual pathology, and you have a case there. It tells you what to do. This and this and this and that. Then you take the slide. You carry the slide and put it on the microscope, select your diagnosis, and check if you are correct. So we could have simulations, virtual laboratories, experiments, and various things like that also. So, but the issue, remember the issue that we are considering is what is actually e-learning. Okay? Now, I will show this UI LMS. Now that's University of Ibadan online courses according to the various faculties, and I just want to show us a sample of what the page looks like. Okay, let's look at the introduction to medical parasitology, because that's part of one of the projects. Now there was this other course, because I said I was talking about what happened in what has been happening in UI also. We had under our Step B project a courseware development program for female lecturers, where 20 female lecturers were trained to develop their courseware, and for a period of 6 months, they were developing their courseware, and this is one of the results. We have the other 20. We had quite a representation from the College of Medicine. Must be up to 8 or so people from the college who also had their courses done that way. And they had to go through training in pedagogy, in the technology, and on the use of the LMS. And you may wonder, why did it take a period of 6 months? That's because when it comes to e-learning, it takes time. It's not something you rush. You have to make a plan. In fact, they had to first submit a 6-month action plan, what they will be doing after they have submitted the breakdown of their course content and selected resources that they will be using to teach each aspect of the course content. I don't usually encourage, this Nigerian rush into something attitude, because at the end of the day, you'll find out that for e-learning, you will have not e-learning, you will have e-teaching. Just the way you teach in class, you just transfer it online. Yes, you just have an electronic platform for it. But if it is cautiously addressed and looked at, you have to do what we call instructional systems design and plan the course. And then, because we are all still working during that period of development, you have to look at, how do I go about it so that it doesn't affect my work and I'm progressing in this too. So this is one of the results of the, you see, you have introduction there. They're supposed to introduce themselves also and so on. And for each section, like here in college, you don't have maybe like particular topics or no, you have topics. You don't have courses. Okay. Yes, no courses. So they broke this down, and you see the first one, introduction to parasitology. There, you have a PowerPoint document there. This is a PDF. Then you have a quiz, definition of terms. These resources, they are, you could link to the website, you could link to resources that you have already uploaded on this LMS. But for that particular topic, you will see what the teacher says there. It says in this module 1, you will be dealing with some basic definitions that are used frequently in parasitology. You are expected to understand various terms such as so, and so, and so on. So, you use the language like you are talking to your students, not, the informal, not the formal, as if you are talking to live audience. That's the way you should write. And then you make it as attractive or as possible, but very simple also, so that students can go through. And all through, you will see different kinds of their forums there, their chat sessions, and so on. So that's one of, I'll show you one more. So this is Moodle, the Moodle platform. And we chose that because, who knows why?
Because it's free.
I wonder why they did not choose Blackboard.
I wonder why. Why did they choose Blackboard? Or Wednesday? Or something else? I wonder why. Under which department is operates for? Is it
That's IMRAT.
Eh?
IMRAT.
No.
That's
It's on
the basic medical science.
basic. Okay, that's good. These are all the courses that we have already on our LMS in UI. Basic.
Yes.
Okay, I think our course is chemical. Let's enroll you there. It's coming up. What I want to show this is that she actually has a virtual lab as part of her course there. Okay, you can see her introduction there. You are welcome to this class. I'm Dr. Bajushia Okore, and I'll be taking you and so on. Now, what exactly is molecular biology? You know, like a discussion, as if you're talking to a live audience, okay? And then you have, having gone through this course, you will be enabled to do the following, okay? So her picture is there, and things to interest or to keep the students on that side. The course outline, and if there's any news, you'll get it in the news forum. So that's the module 1. And the learning objectives are there. What you have to read. Then here you have this virtual lab, which when you click on, it takes you to the web page, and then you do the practical thing. Okay? So that's LMS. I had problem with my password, so it has been logging me out since yesterday night. Okay, so we also have tutorials and drills. We know what tutorials and drills are. And I know many of us are familiar with this site, this Medline. Okay. And there's this PubMed also, which has various tutorials. And so this course is this is about heart valve replacement, and it's telling me to click the arrow, and then you hear some voice, you see some friendly pictures there, and so on and so forth. Okay? Simulations and animations also. There are some of them that you can actually download and use offline, but there are quite a number of them that you use online. So this is another site. You have some of, it tells you what to do here. Select one of the 3 sensations next to various regions of the body, and continue from there. Okay, because of time, just run through all these. Of course, we have games and apps also. So you will download the apps on your mobile devices and do some quiz or some other things there, like this kid anatomy. It's actually on my mobile phone, and you can use it, the student can use it for a lot of practice in a relaxed way. He's traveling, or he's just relaxing in the evening, he wants to revise some tasks, he wants to, bring back to memory some of the things. So, sorry, I will go through all those sites again. Now, before we look at this, for the ones that have discussed, the PDF files, the Word documents, the things that we have seen, this is now general. Which one do you actually, can you place your hand on and say, this is e-learning? Let me remind you, we've talked about the PDF files, we've looked at simulations, animations, games, apps. We were not able to look at that, but I assume we know. Okay, then we have the LMS, the Moodle platform also. Okay? So, reflect a little bit. which one actually can you place your hand on that, yeah, I think if we're talking about e-learning, this is it, and this is why. Yeah, who has been talking to this?
I think it's all of them.
All of them? Okay.
This is the database of learning process.
Okay.
That's the major thing. It's just using the conduit of technology.
Okay. That's what you feel? That everything, the games, the apps, they are all e-learning. Okay, he's qualifying it. He says they are all e-learning resources. So what was qualified? Yes, you wanted to say what it says. Okay, so what would qualify as e-learning itself?
Both are, all of them are actually two models. LMS gives you the opportunity to combine all those things.
Okay.
So you can link to PDF, you can link to Word.
Okay.
But the LMS will give you a structured platform to impact the knowledge.
Okay.
And even test.
And test. So you saw that from the LMS, you had an opportunity to put your objective. Remember the definition. Predetermined goals. It's not that, oh, this video is fantastic, you must watch it. Why? There must be predetermined goals. And there must be a way of checking if you got to that goal you want to know. So in between, you have the systematic organization of activities, not just information. You organize the experience. So as we round up, okay, sir.
Is it possible to say that I will integrate the games if you have as part of the game, and you have some skills or you want to have some information that you want the students to achieve? Going to the definition, I will use both the games and the PDF
and the everything. Yes.
In the conventional teaching method.
Yeah.
To achieve this.
Yes.
Some other e-learning.
Yes, because e-learning could be for support and it could be for direct teaching. Okay, so you could actually use it to support. We'll talk about blended learning now. We'll talk about that and flip strategy. You could actually use it in that format. So it's not just about just sitting online, but if it's a distance learning course, of course, usually it's online, unless you have some face-to-face time with the student. So as we round up, we want to look at the key things that makes this, or let me first talk about this. It will be, when we talk about e-learning, it will be online and it will be offline. So it's not only when you are online, then it could be synchronous and it could be asynchronous at the same time or at different times. People located in different parts of the world, commenting at their own time, but it could actually be something that you do at the same time. Okay. So all those are the various options. Now, I said in consideration of the learner, what are we talking about in terms of e-learning? It must be interactive and collaborative, because we learn a lot when we collaborate. So when we are designing our activities, it must ensure that we must ensure that we have activities wherein students interact. And that's because we thrive in communities. We thrive in communities, and I dare say that that's how God made us. Then, authentic, real life. In fact, I know that in medicine, it's about real life, about real people, about real situations. And that must be brought into e-learning also. Then engaging. You must be engaging. You have critical thinking, creativity. We have looked at that in the initial video that we watched. Actually, we are created with these skills. So we want these skills to come out has a level of creativity and of course thinking skills. We don't want it to be dormant. We just don't want to memorize things and bring it back, or memorize skills and bring it back. We want to be able to say, okay, let's deduct, let's infer, let's break this down and then synthesize together. And usually when you're in the sciences, in the secondary school, there's an option between the physical sciences, when you want to choose a career, and the biological sciences. What made the decision for me was that if I go in biological science, I can't tweak the brain of somebody to suit what I want, to just find out what will happen to this person if I put something on the person's brain. And that's the kind of thing I would have wanted to do. And that made the decision for me that I want to go somewhere that I can tweak things around with little damage done. Okay. Because how can you operate on somebody and then say, okay, this lunch should make it. If I can do it, I just put it somewhere else and see what happens. Well, that was just the right. But we're created to be creative. This thing must, when you're designing your activities, a lot of creativity, not in terms of the graphic design, because at times all those graphics and things, they will be distracting. But in terms of the activities that you generate, that would enable the students to actually think creatively and critically. Want them to be able to do that. So in terms of all these graphics, you use it minimally just to sustain the interest of the learners. Because if it's still black and white, if it's just black and white, it's the same thing as their textbook. So why bother go online? They just now variety also. Like I said, we're not created the same. Like what will appeal to me may not appeal to him. And theories of learning have shown us that we can actually classify our learning styles into 4. We have visual learners, we have those we call read, write, and we have kinesthetic, and we have oral. Some people, like while I was in school, I preferred that I would do my work, towards the exam. People used to have all these tutorial discussion groups. And some people will come to that tutorial discussion groups almost blank. And by the time they go, they are ready for the exam. It's something I can't do. I have to come. I must have read and finished reading before coming to such discussion groups, because I want to flow. But there are some people, let's just they want to listen. And as they listen, they are able to flow and contribute. But some people, they need to read. And some people, you have to take them through to do. You can actually find out the kind of person you are. There are so many tests online to check your learning style. Because we found out that your learning style determines the way you teach. So one has to be very careful that you're not just, treating students as just one single person, the way you prefer to learn. So it's a very good thing. There's VARK, there's a VARK test that you can take just a few minutes online, and you find out your own learning style. And if you reflect, you'll be teaching for a long time. Reflect on the way you've been teaching. You'll see that it reflects your learning style. And that's why we need to know and be careful, so that I've told you this before, I've done this before, why are you not getting this? It may be because they have variety, you have a variety in your classroom. Okay? So we want to include things that they can read, PDF files, Word documents, PowerPoint. We want to put in things they can do, like in games, in tutorials, moving around. We want to put in that they can hear. And we want to put in a lot of graphics also for people that, things like charts, put one arrow. Who can guess what my learning style is from what I've been doing? Thank you. Very visual. So if I come to a training and the slides are not like what I'm seeing here, I just skip off. It's not because I want to. I try to control myself. But if it's not as interesting as what I have here, then that's it. So, more considerations. Instructional systems design, very important. So if you're talking about a strategic plan, you need a lot of consideration about that. And what is that? Planning your work. We actually modified the template of University of Jos for our Ph.D. project. Courtesy of Dr. Lale's suggestion that time, instead of we having to reinvent the wheel. Okay, so we added our own, parts there and things that could be peculiar to us. So you have the design template that contains everything about the course. Everybody should start from there. You shouldn't start from, let's go online, what resources do we have there? No, that's not the first thing. The first thing is to determine what are my strategies? What are my goals? What are my objectives? How am I going to assess the students? What are my content? How can this content be delivered considering all the other the issues that we raised in the previous slide? Then blended learning, that's another option. Like I discussed about the Facebook project, they were off school, off the classroom 2 weeks, then 1 week they are back in the classroom for us to discuss. That's another way of going about it. Then we have flipped strategy, and that's something that is making waves in the e-learning forum now. And how does that work? In a normal classroom, you come, you give your lectures, you do discussions, you learn, and then you give like an assignment or a homework or something for the students to go and do at home, then come and feed you back with what they have done in the next class. Now, when we talk about flip, you are changing things over. They are learning outside the classroom and they are doing their activities in the classroom. That is, you provide the resources for them, you provide the materials, they will use the media, the tools, you create your activities around these resources, and then they have gone through, they have made their notes. When they come into the classroom, they come to do the work in the classroom, not just to begin to learn. Actually, in the Ayotola course, that's what we have been using. We'll round up the course next week. We'll finish the course content, we'll just do a summary. And what we'll do for the course, according to module, like we'll take module 1, all the resources necessary for that we have posted on the module site, which they can have access to either online or offline. And we're always careful to have videos, the Word files, different kinds of things for each. So saying almost the same things. So that if this does not appeal to you, at least this will appeal to you. So they now come to the classroom and we now put them in groups because as they get the resources, we also give them the activities. I always say activities in terms of what they will do with the content, what they are supposed to do, what they are supposed to get out of the content. So we'll have uploaded that for them also. So but they are coming to do that in the classroom. So as they are reading, as they are watching, as they are viewing, we have different charts also there. And they now come to the classroom, they go into groups, and they now do those activities. Each group come up with their own solutions, because most of the time they are authentic, real-life things that they have to do in their classrooms when they get to school. So they come up with their solutions, and we also encourage them to upload their solutions on that Edmodo site. So that is flip strategy. They interact with all the materials before class. And this is useful in that you find that there's so much information out there now that you can't cover in the classroom. So if the students can have access to that before class. And one of the other things we did, in the past lectures for the course that we did, we had the sessions recorded. So for this new set now, they have access to the recordings of the live lectures. So in addition to all the other offline resources, they have the class lecture. So they can view it before class and then come in. One of the things that we discovered during this semester was that some of them don't bother to interact with the resources. You'll find things like that. Because they know they are coming to do activities in groups in the classroom. So at least in their group, there will be one or two people that have gone through the resources. So many times when they come into the class, if we have scheduled an activity for like 45 minutes, they might be using like 1.5 hours because some of them are just viewing some of the slides and things. So there was a particular module I said we are doing individual activities, and that's, and it had to do with one mode of Kai, which is simulation. So by the time they got into the class, we just distributed the sheets to them. Okay, based on what you have done, what you have seen, what you have read, provide solutions to all these things. And they were saying, we hope this simulation is not real. Okay, so there are ways around all the challenges. We may not be able to solve everything, but as we go on, as we interact in communities of practice, we'll find solutions to them. Okay, I think we should be on the last one.
I've just been thinking that from everything we've seen, that it seems like use of the online or the resources cannot stand alone as the method of teaching.
If that's what you got, then you got everything.
That's what I was just thinking. Because I was just thinking that we need to still interact with the students in the class to assess whether what we have sent across, has been used or not, or have the
impact. You can interact with them online too. You can interact with them online too, but you can also interact face to face.
No, because I'm thinking that when we put something up for 100 people to read, people would understand it in very different ways.
Yes.
So if somebody does not see the lecturer at all, and then goes to write the exam, then I think there will be confusion.
So what will you say about distance learning courses?
I know about they call it online courses overseas. They still have contact periods. They just come maybe once a year.
There are some that don't have at all. They don't have at all. You see, one of the ways that you can do this, like I was saying concerning the elements, the language of your presentation. Make it as if you're talking to people, and also if you are recording videos or you are using slides and you want to put a voice over, you can actually put your picture there. So the way you talk is as if you are relating to your students. Because there are some instances that it's just fully 100% online, and people do learn from that also. You've heard about MOOCs. Okay, so that's the summary of what we've been talking about, what e-learning, starting from learning. If we put E before it, what is it going to be, and so on. So, thank you.